You may have relapsed over the Christmas period or before that. You may have not indeed stopped. You may have been drinking consistently or drugging consistently for many months, even years. You may find yourself now dependent on alcohol or dependent on your drug of choice, whatever that is. That is a very lonely and indeed very frightening place to find yourself. I know that because I've been there. And in this video, I want to talk about some ways that you can perhaps dig yourself out, because you can be feeling helpless and hopeless at the moment. You probably feel that it's impossible to dig yourself out of the situation you're in, but it isn't. I just want to give you a few little pointers to help guide you hopefully in the right direction. Just before I do that, if you want to help the channel, please subscribe. And also, if you'd like to find out how you can help support the channel, if any of my videos over the years have been any help to you or anyone you know, please click on the link in the description, the Ko-fi link. Find out how you can help and support. I'd be really, really grateful. Many thanks. So yeah, dependence. What does dependence on... Let's just talk about alcohol for the moment. Everything I say about alcohol really will relate to opiates or any other drugs that you're taking and you're dependent on as well. It's the same sort of situation going on in your brain. And I was addicted, or have been addicted, to both. Also, can I just say that on the channel you'll find some very detailed videos on alcohol withdrawal and opiate withdrawal and other drug withdrawals, how to plan and prepare from, quite detailed videos of how to get through that withdrawal when you make that decision to stop. But it's not as simple as that, and that's what this video is all about, really. If you're dependent, let's say we're talking about alcohol. If you're dependent on alcohol, how do you know that? You'll know because you literally can't go more than 1, 2 or 3 hours, 3 hours maximum probably, without taking a drink. Because if you try to do that, you will be overwhelmed, and I mean overwhelmed, by crippling fear and anxiety. You'll get physical symptoms such as shaking. Your heart will begin to race. You'll have palpitations. You'll feel like you're almost going to have a heart attack. It can be that scary, and which will raise your anxiety levels even more. You'll break out in sweats, hot and cold sweats, all sorts of, your energy levels will be horribly depleted. You literally can't move. You're frozen in... It is an indescribably horrible feeling. I mean, if you drop off to sleep, if you drink yourself to sleep, this will wake you up whatever time of night, or, at 2 or 3 hours, you'll have to drink to stave off these symptoms. And this becomes a loop that you can't get your mind out of. It's literally a survival mode. You'll have to, every waking moment will be spent on how you're going to get enough alcohol in so, you can maintain, you're not going to get sick. How you're going to be able to pay for that, whether you're going to have to beg, steal or borrow to pay for it. How you're going to find the energy and time it right so you can go out and buy it, because your body and these withdrawal symptoms won't allow you to do that. It's a horrible situation, and you feel helpless and hopeless. You feel as though you can, how can I dig myself out of this? How am I going to survive these feelings and this fear and this pain and this, because it is pain, and these are physical symptoms. It's not just mental symptoms. The mental symptoms and that horrible fear and anxiety and depression are there. And they're horrible, but the physical symptoms are scary. So how do you stop? Oh my God, First of all, let me tell you, it's not hopeless, because you can stop. You probably stopped before, so you know you can stop. You've just got yourself, because when you relapse, for example, it's always a lot worse and a lot quicker than the slow glide into dependence when you're drinking regularly. If you relapse, there's an old saying, if you fall off the wagon keeps on moving. So it's always much worse when you relapse, and you sort of start off from where you left off. I know the last time I relapsed, within 2 or 3 days, I was back up to 2 bottles of vodka, and your body can't take that. It just can't take it. It's not sustainable. You very quickly become dependent on it again. Your body remembers, if you like. And, it's much worse and harder to get off it, and you just don't want to go through those feelings, and you're ashamed to tell anybody, and, you're fearful to tell anybody. You don't tell those you love. You sort of isolate and shut yourself away and just drink and drink and drink and drink 24 hours a day just to stop yourself getting sick. That will lead to death. There's no doubt about it. It'll lead to serious illness. For me, it was vomiting blood within a week, and I was lucky not to die the last time. I never want to go back there again. And that's where it'll take you. It could be, could take longer, but it will eventually take everything from you. It'll probably taken most things from you now. It's probably taken your loved ones away that don't want to be near you. You're probably isolating. It's probably taken your career away. You're not doing your job properly, or you've lost your job. It's certainly taken your finances away, and your health is deteriorating day by day by day until eventually it'll kill you. There's no doubts about that. So you have to. How do you stop this loop? How do you stop this? There's lots of ways you can, because you procrastinate a lot around stopping. You think, you know what's coming, if you like, particularly if you've been through alcohol withdrawal before. And that's why these videos on this channel will help you do that and support you through that. Because preparation's the key, really, with alcohol withdrawal and drug withdrawal. But how do you get yourself in the right mindset? First of all, you've got to get out of that loop. I use something called the 5-second rule. Whenever my brain starts to talk me out of doing something, it gives me all the reasons why I shouldn't do it. It's going to be painful. It's going to hurt. I don't want to feel like, all the reasons that your brain will tell you that why you don't want to stop drinking. You have to stop that loop. And the way to do that is to count backwards from 5. So shut your eyes, take a big deep breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What that does, it engages your prefrontal cortex and allows you to, prefrontal cortex in your brain, allows you to think clearly and get yourself out of that negative loop. And you do that as many times as it takes to stop yourself procrastinating. Because if you're looking at this video and you're looking at other videos, or if this stuff's on your mind, you want to, take it from me, deep in your mind, you want to stop. You can stop, and you will stop. Because me and many thousands and millions of other people have in the same situation as you, and we've done it. So you have to believe that you can to start with, and you can. Trust me, if I can, you can. So get yourself out of that negative thinking loop to start with. You know you've got a problem. You know you're dependent. You know you need to stop. So you keep getting out of that loop, and you think about how you're going to do it, and then you've got to find the want to stop. You've got to find the reasons that you want to stop. Whatever those reasons are, you've got to dig deep sometimes to find them. Maybe you just don't want to die. Maybe you've got family that you want to live for, loved ones you want to live for. Life is so precious. It can be grasped away from you in a second. You can lose everything in a second. You've got to find a reason to live, a reason to want to live. And that'll give you the reason that you want to stop. You don't want to be in this loop anymore. You don't want to die locked away in a little room in your own vomit. You know, it's just, there's no dignity in it. There's no self-respect in it. You need to dig yourself out. So you know you need to stop. Now you've got to want to stop. And then you've got to get out of this loop and you've got to ask for help. You need to ask for help. However, wherever that help comes from, whether it's a group, whether it's from videos like mine or other people's, whether it's online help, whether it's professional help, whether it's your doctor, because your doctor will help you get you out of this if you're honest and own up to it. You know, I know they're busy and I know that it's crap situations, particularly in the UK NHS at the moment, but you've got to ask for help. And there's alcohol and drug services which are there as well. You can't do this on your own. You need support. You know, particularly when you're going through the withdrawal, you need support. You may need medication to help you get off, to ease your anxiety, just to give you that little boost and lift. But the first thing you've got to do is get yourself out of this negative mindset, this loop, this hamster. Is like running around a hamster wheel. You're not getting anywhere. You're just going through the same thing day after day after day after day. So break that chain of thinking. You need to stop. You want to stop. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Think of the reasons. Think of the life you've got ahead of you. Think of the great life you had before when you were stopped before. There's so many reasons to want to live. So please have a look at my videos on withdrawal. Set a date. Go and see someone. Get some help. But please, please, don't die in a lonely room somewhere, because that's what will happen. It really will with this. Much love to you all. Carpe diem. Seize the day today. Thank you.